Well, hello and welcome to the show. Glad you've joined us again this week. Remember last week we talked about the importance of getting the mule soft, getting the mule to actually flex in the pole and move off of our legs. This week we're going to be talking about improving our stop and developing a neck rein. That's all coming up right here on Discovering the Horseman Within.
Gonna take a ride on one true horse.
I frequently hear people say, well, mules are different. You have to train mules differently. I've ridden mules all my life, and what I've discovered is that you treat them like any other equine. They're a grazing animal. They think like a grazing animal. They're certainly less given to panic. Sure, yeah, they're more methodical, of course, but they learn the same way. So last week we worked on developing that side pass and getting the horse moving off of our legs. And that's so critical in bringing a horse to a point where you can start finishing exercises like the neck rein. You have to have the ability to enforce with your legs. We worked a little bit on the stop. We're gonna improve on that a little more today. We're gonna spend a few minutes here riding forward. And what I wanna do is get him to where when I shift my seat, he stops. Right now when I shift my seat, he just keeps walking. So I'm gonna back him up a little bit, and I'm gonna use that leg movement, my left leg in position one, just to move those shoulders to the right. And I'm honestly already kind of working on my neck rein just by doing that. I'm gonna ride him up here again and just soften his nose. There wasn't really a rest on that one. Soften, and when I pick up on those reins, he puts his head up. Just gonna ride him forward and wait. If I start with something ugly, I'm gonna finish with something ugly. So I might as well wait, get his nose soft, get him to where he's paying attention to me. Right there. Shift my seat. No stop. I still had to enforce with my reins. So back him up, and I'm going to take my right leg to position one and move that front end around. Ride off. Soften that nose. There's no rest because he's not actually stopping, so there's no reward. Ride up here, shift my seat. I want him to start thinking about backing up. He's gaping his mouth. He's resisting. Then just back him up. Left leg to position one, move that front end around a little bit, and walk off. I want energy in. I don't want him to get quiet and sluggish. I want him to walk out, soften that nose, and when I shift my seat, right there, he actually stopped. Back him up a step or two, and this time I'm gonna let him stand for a minute because he does know what got him this release, was stopping. So I let him stand here for 10 seconds, just long enough for him to think, wow, that was nice, he left me alone. I'm gonna ride out and do it again. Now obviously I'm working on my stop at a walk. This is the same way I'd work on it at a trot, same way I'd work on it at a lope, but I can't even get him to stop nice at a walk, so I have no business going faster yet. Push that hind end up, soften that nose, shift my seat. Right there, back up a step or two, he's nice and soft, release. Let him stand, let him set, let him soak through it. I'm gonna back him up a step or two. My left leg at position one moves those shoulders over and just helps encourage that turn we're gonna need here in a few minutes. I think horsemanship builds A to Z. Everything we do builds on the last thing we did. And so as I'm going forward, I don't wanna do any one thing that only does one thing. So as I'm working this stop, I'm working that turn over the hindquarters. As I'm working the turn over the hindquarters, I'm also working on developing that neck rein that's gonna make Tyler's ride going down the trail just nice and smooth and quiet and easy. Shift my seat, right there. Back him up a step or two. I wanna back him up right there till you see that nose come back soft. When that nose comes back soft, I'm gonna release him. We're starting to get some consistency to where when he feels my legs come off and my seat stop, he stops. And that's what I want. I want him to be thinking back to me so much that he's hearing my body, right? As if I'm yelling at him. Pick up on my reins, back him up a little bit. My right leg at position one and move that front end around. Nope, not his hind end. I want the front end to move. So I'll just back him up a little more. Move that front end. No, he keeps wanting to move his hind end. All of a sudden we're kind of stuck here, so I'll just keep asking. He doesn't know there. He just stepped over like a quarter of a step. but he picked that front end up and moved it more than he had been moving it. So that's good, that's what I want. Ride him forward, soften that nose, there we go. Put energy in, come on buddy, get this hind end moving, right? Soften that nose, shift my seat, right there. I barely got my legs forward and he was done moving. Back until he's soft a little bit, let him stand. I like where my stop is at. I'm not real big yet on where he is moving off of my leg, particularly to the left, so right leg to position 1. Move that front end over, much better that time, much better. Release him and let him know he did good. I'm gonna ride him in here in a circle. I'm not gonna stop him for a minute. He's doing pretty good there. I'm gonna let him have a minute or so to think about that. Take my left leg to position 1 and just kind of slow the forward movement down and ask that front end to step over just a little bit. Just ask that front end to step over right there. And in the process, we kind of got a little bit of a stop. Release him with my leg and go back and do it again. Move that front end over. Now watch my left hand right here. My outside rein, supporting rein, is clearly working on his neck. Clearly helping build that neck rein. Bring that front end over, bring that front end over. Right there. Good. Ride him up here. I'm gonna do the same thing to the right. Ride him up here. Right rein right here is coming against his neck. Left rein is just outside my saddle horn. Just kind of the outside of my hip, but forward. Move that front end over. Move that there. Release. Big reward. That's what I'm looking for. I'm gonna ride him up here again and ask him to stop. Soften his nose. And when I don't get it, I just keep pushing forward. Keep asking him. Don't quit. Don't second guess yourself. That was my big speech last week. It's the same this week. Stop. When my legs come off of him, he didn't really stop. When my seat changed, he kept going. So move him, ride forward. No rest for the wicked and the righteous don't need any, right? Ride him forward. As soon as my seat comes off, he should have stopped. He didn't. Oh, he's gonna just say, no, Ken, I'm not gonna have anything to do with this. So just hold, don't get anxious, hold. Everything has an ugly spot now and then, right? Just go through it. Soften. Soften, move that front end over. Good, ride him forward. I do want to give him a release. My seat comes off there. That time he stopped perfect. So if he stops that good, I'm just gonna let him set here, and this time let him set a little bit longer. Remember, last week we couldn't even get him to stand still. So the fact that he's learning to stop and stand is a great thing. If your horse won't stand still, I promise you they won't stop. I promise you that they're gonna be antsy and on the go. Back him up a step or two. I wanna take my outside or supporting rein and really use it with my leg and push that front end over. The next exercise we're gonna do is all about the neck rein, but right now we wanna build that in. So I'll just keep walking him up here. And you watch, I kind of use my hand out here to the outside and let that neck rein really come over and really move off my leg. Now when you're using your leg here, I'm gonna make this little figure 8. If your toe isn't turned out, if it doesn't hurt, you're not doing it right, okay? It should kind of hurt up in your hip a little bit. You turn that toe out, even if you're not wearing spurs, you're using your heel. Just move that front end over. Change directions. Let those reins come back over here. Just ride him right between both reins. Change directions right here. And I haven't asked him for a stop now in a minute and a half or 2 minutes. I've just kind of walked him around, worked on moving that front end. So ride him back up here, soften, and when my seat comes off right there. I want to see him stop. I love that. I'm probably now ready to think about starting my stops a little bit higher speed. He needs to stop at least that good at a walk first. So to recap quickly, we're using our legs at position 1, my right leg to go left, my left leg to go right. Remember, position 1 is right at the front cinch or slightly behind it, maybe a ½ inch or inch behind it, but in that area forward of the rib cage. With our hands, we're actually using the direct rein and then taking the outside rein or supporting rein and coming across the horse's neck just slightly, right? And I realize in this case he's not a horse, he's a mule, but I refer to them as the same metaphorically, obviously not physically. I want to come across him right here. So now, what I want to do, I want to speed up, I want to put more emphasis in this, let's go forward, right? And I want to switch my reins from 2 hands to 1. And I bridge my reins in the middle, and I lay the neck rein on and push with my thumb. I want to look where I'm going and push with my thumb. And then for now, I'm going to switch hands, look where I'm going, and push with my thumb and tug with my pinky. So if I need to, I tug with my pinky. I just reach up right there and just tug with my pinky. And I switch hands right here, push with my thumb, and reach up and tug with my pinky. Now, is this neck reining? Heavens no. A true finished neck rein should be held in one hand, the same hand, the entire ride, and it should stay in the general proximity of the saddle horn, not be reaching way out here. But this is getting this little fella to walk around and follow the feel on his neck and get away from my leg. My leg is reinforcing. So is my leg on him constantly? No, my leg is not on him constantly. It comes in when he's not making the turn and it says, hey, you need to go that way. You need to go that way. And then I switch and I look where I'm going and I let the rein go, and then my leg says, hey, hurry up now, follow. The rest of your body needs to follow. We'll pick it up a little bit. All right? You got to get your body to follow your nose. We're going to come around here, soft, switch, look where I'm going, and switch. Keep the momentum up, keep moving. Come around here, look where I'm going, and switch. I like to use markers. You know, if I was in an arena, I might have a cone, but out here I just look at a certain plant and I try to use that as a marker and ride to it and around it so that my mule knows what we're doing here. Now, we haven't practiced our stops at a trot at all. But he's doing pretty good here, so I'm going to reach up, soften his nose, and stop. Now, that was not a 40-foot slide and stop, was it? But it was a cute little just come to a standstill on his hind end. And that's what I want to see. I want to see him say, okay, I'm done now. Now, you can tell he might want to go trot 20 miles, but he does not want to trot these little circles and figure eights. That's perfect. That will help me teach his stop better. The circles and figure eight help get the neck rein started. Once I get the neck rein started, I can take it down the trail and work on it in other places. But I need to get it started. So just shift right here. There we go. And I'll try and shift with my same hand. Right there, I'll just reach across and just use my index finger in the place of my pinky and just say, come on now, and I'll really use my leg. Come on now, fella, come around there. There we go. Come back over here and pick it up to a trot. All right? Look where you're going. Use your eyes. Your eyes will do as much to direct this mule as your hands and your legs ever. Switch my hand, go the other direction. Really making his body follow his nose. Really want his body following his nose. Switch. Right there. Gonna go all the way around. Perfect. Doing a nice job of following through. Come over here. Switch. Right here. Really, again, I really want you to realize how much your whole body is guiding this horse. I don't lean, or this mule. I don't lean, I sit up and ride where I want to go. Bring him around here, ask him for a stop. Soften that nose, stop riding. Right there, I love that. Like in a few minutes, his stop has gone from no, I don't think so, to yeah, I'm probably pretty ready to stand still. Let him rest, let him reward. Remember, pressure doesn't teach your horse or your mule, right? The release does. So the longer he stands here, when you tell me you have a hot, jiggy ride, rather that's a mule or a horse, when you have a hot, jiggy ride, what you're telling me is you have an animal that doesn't know he can stand still. So you say, no, 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 my horse is hot all the time no matter what. My mule's hot all the time no matter what. Great. Go home and look at him in the pasture. I'll bet you he actually lays down. I'll bet you he actually takes a nap in the sunlight. I'll bet you he stands still under a tree swishing flies. It's not that he's hot all the time. It's that once you get on him, he thinks the only release is go, 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 go. So you actually have to release him into what you want him to do. You have to release him into the stop. You notice I'm not standing here holding my reins. No, they're there. I trust him. He's going to take care of me, right? He's not going to hurt himself. So if he's not going to hurt himself, he's not going to hurt me. Walk off, move that front end over. How much is too much? Well, I want to see some honest improvement. And if I see improvement in 10 minutes, that's fantastic. If I see improvement in an hour, that's great. I'm going to work this horse as long, or this mule, as long as I need to. Right there, just reach up here and help him a little bit. I'll do that a lot of times with my second hand. I'll reach up and help just a little bit. Lay that neck rein on. I don't need the help coming to the left as much. So I come back to the right, lay the neck rein on, reach up, help a little bit, and use my leg. Help a little bit, use my leg. Make something change here. Come on, Jess, let's go. All right, I want to make something happen here, make something change. Good. Pick a little bit bigger circle. Just get him to follow his nose. Make him a little more comfortable in the trot. Now make that circle smaller with my eyes. Make that circle smaller. Just keep making it a little bit smaller and a little bit smaller. And we can switch. All right. All of these are fun exercises that frankly you can do out in the middle of any field, on the way down the trail, anywhere you want to go. You can work on these things, any place that you feel comfortable. You see, every now and then he spooks. I've spanked him with those reins a couple of times because he's being lazy, and so now when I flip that rein up, he's going, oh no, it could get me. So I just do that a few times. Ride him up here, ask him for that stop right there. You can see he's got that figured out. Productivity, effectively generating quality results. Productivity is one of my favorite character traits. When I was a kid, my dad encouraged us to be productive in all that we did. In fact, so much so that if we were to walk into the house and tell my mom, gosh, Mom, I'm bored, she would turn around and point at several shelves on the kitchen, in the kitchen cupboards, and she would say, do all of those dishes, that will help your boredom. You didn't have to do that very many times before you realized it would be better to go find something productive to do myself than to have Mom find something productive for me to do. I still think productivity is critically important in my daily life. In fact, if you've been to any of my clinics, you've heard me use this axiom. Consistency plus intensity equals productivity. In other words, if I ask my horse the same, I ask him frequently or often, I'm going to affect real change. It's absolutely the same in our daily lives. If we want to change something, we've got to put ourselves into it. It's not possible to be productive without the intent of really trying, right? You don't just end up having a productive day. You get up in the morning and you set aside a list of things you're going to do, and you go at that stuff and you go at it piece by piece by piece, and when you're done, you've had a productive day. Productivity isn't always work generated. Lots of times productivity is actually the affected change that we create in somebody else's world or in somebody else's life, and being able to step up and help those people. And so lots of times, I recall a story where my dad and I and several of the kids that lived with my folks pulled into a man's yard in Canada. Fall was coming on. He was trying to put his roof on his house. He had a couple of boards up there. The group of 10 or 15 of us put that roof on in a matter of an hour. We went from him getting nothing done to so much productivity we got it completely done. It changed his entire world. He suddenly went from not being able to finish his house before winter to it actually being an easy job. And what did it take from us? The commitment of a few minutes. Sometimes the amount of help you offer to somebody else doesn't seem that much to you, but it's life-changing for them. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We have so much fun bringing you this show. Remember, horses were created for your enjoyment. The best way to enjoy them is with your family. And until next time, may God bless the trails you ride.
Find out more about Ken McNabb horsemanship at kenmcnabb.com.
That one true horse, the perfect partner built to ride. One true horse, a bond that cannot be denied. You would search forever just to have the chance